Hey there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of learning how to create better communication in your marriage. Today, I wanted to create a short little two-part series where we're going to talk about a couple of the missteps that I see clients take in their relationships. And I think that this is really going to be helpful for you to listen to today. So, this is part one, and I'd love for you to tune in a couple of days to hear part two, where we'll share the second misstep. So, first, let me preface the conversation today by saying when I meet with clients, and I usually do this through a free consult call, and whether it's on that call itself or they have began the work of working with me as their life and marriage coach, many of the people who I work with, the bottom line, they want two things. They want to be seen, they want to feel seen, and then they also want to feel connected. And I kid you not, like it doesn't matter how a couple or a woman will present to me. Many times those two things are at the core because they're also very connected, right? Not feeling seen and not feeling connected. If you think about it, those two are very much in the same family, right? Because if we allow ourselves to get disconnected emotionally, then of course it makes sense that not feeling and being seen can be the result of that. And I think it's also important, before I share the first misstep today, it's so important that you don't take this work and use it to beat yourself up. So many of us were not taught how to be in healthy relationships. We were not exampled it when maybe we were young, or we just were not taught it growing up. And so I don't want you to feel bad that maybe your relationship isn't looking the way that you would like it to. The important thing is, what are you going to do about it? And so please don't take any of this information that you learn and turn it around on yourself, right? We don't want to do that. We want to take the information and start implementing it in our lives. So that way we can really think about things instead of just kind of living from that default space, and we can make things better. And interestingly enough, so many times the pressure that you're putting on yourself to be a certain type of wife, or be a certain type of mom, or certain type of professional, sometimes the pressures that we put on ourselves to show up in a certain way in those spaces, interestingly enough, give us more of the result that we don't want. And I'm going to say that again. Many times the results that we get, right, the disconnection, is because of the pressure that we're putting on ourselves to show up in a certain way. And so it's so helpful when we learn more about who we are and why we're doing the things that we're doing and showing up the ways that we're showing up in our relationship. So that way we can consciously decide, do I want to continue doing this? When I have done this in the past, it has resulted in this. Either I love those results, they're questionable, or I absolutely do not want to continue getting those results. And I think it could just be a really empowering space to be in your life where you allow yourself to be questioned. And I mean, just even if you're just kind of journaling or self questioning, I think that can even be powerful. So I just kind of wanted to preface our call today with that, and I hope that most importantly that it just encourages you. Okay, so misstep number one: stop telling yourself that things aren't that bad. And I hear this too. So keep in mind, especially the most recent, all of my episodes, right, are based on conversations, like actual conversations or things that I hear clients say. But especially if you really want to hear some of the more recent conversations that I've been hearing with clients, tune in to the recent episodes. But I hear this a lot, right? Things aren't that bad. And it just makes me say to myself, well, who told us that we had to wait until we were on the steps of the courthouse, basically, about to file for divorce or be separated before we get help? Why do things have to be bad before we get help? And so, if you ever find yourself saying, well, things aren't that bad, I want to challenge you that that's another way for you to just kind of get nice and cozy with the discomfort. It's like wrapping yourself up in this warm little fuzzy blanket of discomfort. And I also want to share this. Even though I don't want you to land there, that, things aren't that bad. So I won't get help. I won't get support. I also want to tell you that it's normal. It's very normal that your brain wants you to stay in that space of, things can be better, right? You guys have some challenge. You may have a relatively pretty good relationship, but there are some things that you would like to see better, or maybe there's one specific area that really kind of is a friction point between the two of you. And I want to let you know that the part of your brain that doesn't want you to stretch and actually get help, that's the part of your brain that wants you to stay in that space and stay with that discomfort because it's familiar. So I just want to make sure that you hear me. There's nothing wrong with you at all that you have gotten comfortable with the discomfort. That's very normal for our brains because sometimes even when things aren't quite right or we know that they can be better, it's like it's the devil I know. And so I want to stay with the devil I know. But I want to offer you that things can be better, right? More is available to you. And so if you're telling yourself like things aren't that bad, like this episode is especially for you because things shouldn't have to be bad before you get support. Okay. So something else that I want to share is, and this is interesting because I actually, with a couple who's already a client, one of them said something that I really appreciated them sharing because it was very honest and it was very vulnerable. They said, there are some times that I'm afraid I won't do the work. And I really appreciate that feedback in my coaching container because I'm really big on being honest and share with me even when you're kind of nervous about something or something is making you afraid or concerned. And this person shared, I'm actually afraid that I won't do the work. And and I just appreciated them being so honest because that was a real thought that was going on for them. And part of and we coached on it a little bit. And part of my answer was, you know, you can have all the tools, you can have all the coaching, but at the end of the day, you have to be sick and tired. You have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I know, many of you listening can relate to that, where you really do have to be just tired of things being the way that they are before that you're really willing to do something different. So that way you can get different results. So I hope that today's show encourages you. If you have heard yourself saying any of these things, I want you to know that it's okay and help is available and that there's nothing wrong with you and your relationship, your marriage isn't even necessarily doomed if it's not going the way that you thought it would. But I think moving forward, being more intentional, not I think, I know, right, is something that can really help take you to the next level of your relationship and really your life. And so, thank you so much for tuning in and just kind of listening to part one of my misstep series. And so, in the next episode, I will share with you the second thing that I hear a lot. And the second one is a big one. And I think many of you will definitely relate to the second one. But I know that many of you are also kind of feeling what I'm sharing today. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I just want to thank you so much for sharing space with me and coming here and listening and learning how to make your relationship better. Before I go today, I want to share with you that if you're listening to this episode in real time, I am offering my first, and this is kind of fun because it is my first time. I am offering my first 5-day free challenge. And we're going to have so much fun with this. It's happening at the end of this month. So if you're listening in real time, it's going to happen at the end of June 2024. And it's a free 5-day challenge, and it's called Say Goodbye to Groundhog Day Fights by the 4th of July. And so it's going to be a fun time for us to get together, and it's completely free. And I've put together really simple, doable activities for us to do each day. And it's just a way for us to come on and connect. I'll be jumping on and doing some lives. I'll have some small but impactful activities for you to do, and we'll just come together as a community and make our relationships better by the 4th of July. So I'm really excited about it because it's just a fun thing for us to do. And it's my first time. And so I'm getting really excited about everyone who has joined us and who will. So in the show notes below, if you'd like to join us for the challenge, make sure that you use that link to sign up. And I look forward to seeing you there. All right. Have a beautiful day. Bye.